Well, hello, and welcome back to another exciting edition of Coffee with Stephen. So, this week's blog, which is a little bit longer than I normally write it, is called The 60%. It has to do with the mindset of who we're trying to convince as not only gun owners, but also CCW holders and people that utilize firearms for self-defense. Years ago, number of years ago, when my daughter was going through a hunter safety course, the instructor was talking to all of the students in the class, and he said, "Look, 20% of the population is sort of pro hunting. They've got it burned into their DNA. Another 20% of the population is completely antagonistic towards hunting, and really nothing you can say is ever going to sway their mind or their opinion. The issue is not trying to convince that small 20% to join our side. Quite the contrary. The issue is trying to inform and sway, to our point of view, the 60% of the population that's effectively ambivalent about hunting." Well, this has always stayed with me. And I think when it comes to gun rights in general, that same paradigm sort of holds true. 20% of us completely understand the idea of having the responsibility of self-protection and utilizing a firearm as an effective tool for the self-empowerment of being able to protect yourself. 20% of the population is what would be called holopodes, people that are completely terrified of the idea of a firearm and frankly don't understand the functionality or even the philosophical underpinnings of self-empowerment and self-protection. The 60% of the population in the middle, those are the individuals that we need to be able to convince. Whether they remain ambivalent or not is completely irrelevant. What we need to ensure is that 60% understands our point of view and is not willing to vote in ways that would impact us. All right? So this takes us to a live fire range. One of the things that we see quite frequently during a live fire exercise, whether it's with our students or with other students that happen to be out at the range, or just people that are training in general, is for some, a lackadaisical approach, a lack of understanding of the four safety rules, a lack of understanding on the mindset that's required for training. One of the things that I've really begun telling all of our CCW students when we come back from the range, you have to understand that we, especially when we're training and we're in public, we are under a microscope. Everybody has a cell phone and a cell phone camera. Everything that we do can find its way onto social media. You've got a number of people that are calling for the arming of academic staff at schools. You know my position on it. I think it's a spectacularly good idea. While I would never mandate that a teacher carry a gun, I do believe that it's an extremely good idea to remove the prohibitions of a legally armed citizen, whether they're a teacher, a faculty member, an administrative personnel, or even a janitor. If they have the ability to carry a firearm because they've been vetted by state and federal agencies, they should be allowed to carry a firearm on the campus. In any event, a lot of the people disagree. Not a lot of the people, 20% of the people completely disagree with this. 20% is obviously for it. It's the 60% in the middle. So when you are out at the range and you see people handling their weapons in a manner that is patently unsafe, or they clearly are there as pure recreational shooters, that imagery can find itself onto social media. And that's going to do absolutely nothing more than hurt our cause. Guys, you need to take your training as seriously as humanly possible. And you need to understand that whenever you're standing on a public range and you have your firearm out, you have got to believe that there is somebody out there that's completely antagonistic to firearms, that's videotaping you, and they're going to use you as proof as to why individuals should not be allowed to carry firearms. So anyways, it's something that I'd like you guys to read. Hopefully you make some impact. In any event, if you disagree with me or you just want to talk, you can always email me at steven@artemishq.com. As always, train constantly, train consistently, train with purpose, and above all else, stay vigilant. Until next week when we have coffee again, stay safe.